Good day, everyone. I'm Thomas Steed, Chair of the Association of BellTel Retirees. And my report today is on our recent activities. It was a good year. I was down in Irving, Texas, which is about 8 miles from Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. I got to commend Verizon for having a live shareholders meeting where they would have to address the shareholders and not hide behind the virtual meeting, which AT&T did this year. This way, they don't have to expose themselves to the floor and questions from the floor. And some of the questions are very hard questions that shareholders ask. So I must commend Verizon on that, not hiding behind the curtain. We'll start off with our successful proxy proposals at the Verizon shareholders meeting this year. One shareholder proposal on executive severance compensation was presented by the association, clawback by myself, Thomas Steed, and the real victory was presented by association co-founder Robert Rem on equity, inclusion, and diversity. And I'll speak to that one first. The Human Resources Committee at Verizon focused on the top executives of the company. And Bob said, well, this isn't fair. This isn't civil rights for all employees who should be considered under the umbrella of the Human Resources Committee. So Bob filed a proposal. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. We're all citizens of Verizon. We should be treated equally. And Verizon filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, to change their charter to include all employees under the oversight of the Human Resources Committee at Verizon. The other two proposals both gained more percentage than 2021. The clawback proposal and the executive severance compensation, which we refer to as the golden parachute proposal. Now, you got to understand, proxies are incremental, and it takes a lot of patience to win a proxy proposal, years. But as long as you gain 2 or 3 points a year, you're getting to that 50% goal. Now, and I would have been happy with 3%. But the golden parachute proposal gained 6% to 44%. Now, if we do the same thing next year, 6%, that puts us over the goal line at 50%. Okay, we did a webinar down at the 13th Street and 2nd Avenue Verizon building with retired firefighter Danny Noonan, Michael Barish, attorney for the fire department, New York Telephone employees who were exposed to toxins at 9/11. Now, also back in 1975, there was no federal relief money or medical evaluation of these toxins. And don't forget, this was what the fire department calls their first 9/11. It was a confined space toxic fire, not open air. It was much, much more concentrated and worse. There was no fresh air at all to breathe. So they're both connected. And I urge all of you, if you're not registered, if you were in the vicinity of 140 West Street, which actually our building, the facade of Tower 2 fell on our building, on the front of our building at 140 West Street, and Pearl Street, just 6 blocks away, you should be registered as a exposure victim of that tragic event. Danny's firehouse at the time was on East 13th Street, 1 block away. And he was the first one to respond to the alarm. And unfortunately, Danny suffers from cancer. The 699 firefighters that fought that fire, over 300 developed cancer, and some of them perished. So you can watch that webinar if you'd like on our YouTube now. Now, After that, finally, Danny Noonan's been a crusader for recognition for these 699 firefighters for 47 years. And finally, New York City Fire Department, Verizon agreed a dedication plaque is in order. And they had the ceremony at Randall's Island Fire Academy, Randall's Island, New York. A very dignified event. The entire front row of the auditorium was reserved only for the now retired firefighters who fought the fire and the now retired telephone employees that restored service. And it was very respectful. Sergio Nito, who's president of the Fire Bell Club of New York, presented each of the firefighters who fought the fire and each of the telephone companies employees who restored service with a token coin. And this coin says on one side, the Fire Bell Club of New York organized February 10th, 1939. Now on the other side, the New York Telephone Company, fire February 27th, 1975. All gave some gave all. Very nice little token of appreciation for just the employees of New York Telephone and the firefighters who fought the fire. Now they have a dedication wall on Randall's Island to this event, an entire wall. It was quite moving, you know, that after 47 years, these brave firefighters were recognized, and the contribution of the thousands of men and women of the Bell system to restore the building in record time. And we restored it to a digital modern building from an analog building. So we rebuilt it better actually than it was prior to the fire. Our newsletter is being published as we speak, our summer newsletter. And you should all be receiving it shortly. It has a condensation of all these activities the association has been doing. And I'd like to say again, we couldn't do it without your contributions, your donations. I mean, this is more yours than it is ours, because you're the motivation behind all of this. So I want to thank all of you for viewing today, and watch the mail. Your newsletter will be here soon, or you can read it on our website at the Association of BellTel Retirees. Thank you.